Welcome to FleetFooted, guys. This is your boy Tossin. We're going to be talking faith and football, and today's topic is failing forward. So before I actually get into the main topic, I actually just wanted to go through the weekend's results real quick because I can't call myself a football man and not go through the Premier League set of results. So let's just have a quick look. We're going to have a quick gander at the weekend's results, and I'm going to go through them and give my give my opinion on the weekend's results. So now, looking at the table, there weren't that many goals this weekend. You know, we've been treated to a few goal feast weekends, but this weekend in the Premier League was actually quite dry, basically. And I mean, for an Arsenal fan, a dry weekend, especially when we keep a clean sheet, is actually what I like. So let's just go through the results. So obviously, we kicked off last Friday, Fulham and Wolves drawing 1-1. And that Manuel Solomon, he scored again. I swear, I think this guy, that's like 3 goals for this guy. And he only scores like really good goals, like very, very clever finishes. And apparently they got him from Shakhtar Donetsk or something. Really, really good player. And I'm just thinking, man, like they got him, former Shakhtar Donetsk. They got Willian, former Shakhtar Donetsk. And Pablo Sarabia playing for Wolves. It just shows you the Premier League's pulling power. How on earth have Wolves been able to get Pablo Sarabia? This guy was playing for PSG like a few months ago. But that being said, actually going into the match itself, I actually think Fulham are having a phenomenal season. I'm happy for Marco Silva. Looking at the table now, so Fulham are 6th in the table with 39 points. They're 6th. Fulham are 6th. Take this in. Fulham are 6th. Fun fact, I actually went to a Fulham game with my wife last season where they lost 1-0 at home to Sheffield United, right? And this was an all-conquering Fulham that had been scoring lots of goals. Went there weren't that many goals. In fact, there were no goals. It was Sheffield United. And I actually missed it because I was getting a burger from the burger van and I got to the ground just as I heard, yeah! And it was the away fans. I was so annoyed. But that being said, honestly, Fulham fans, you should be proud of your team. Fulham are only 6 points off 4th. Fulham are legitimately in the race for Champions League. This is phenomenal by them. And Wolves have done well to get themselves out of the drop as well. I mean, they should. If you've got Lopetegui, if you've got players like Pablo Sarabia, if you've got Matias Nunez, I'm still waiting for him to do something, by the way. I still don't really see the hype. Ruben Neves in midfield, Adama Traore that just came back from loan with Barcelona. Like, come on. Like, Wolves are, okay, they're doing well. They've done well to get out of that drop zone, but they should be doing better with the squad they have. But anywho, 1-1. Not a bad result for either team. You know, it keeps Wolves continue collecting points. And then we had Everton losing 2-0 at home to Aston Villa. Now, unpopular opinion. Even though he's breaking records, I think he's got like 5 goals in a row for Villa. I still don't rate Ollie Watkins that much. I rated him when he played for Brentford, you know, because championship level. But okay, he's doing the job, but I still don't. I'm like, when I watch the guy, he's definitely improved in a few weeks. And I know I shouldn't be saying much because he scored against Arsenal. But still, I still don't see the hype. I've even seen Arsenal are linked with him. I'm like, why are we linked with him? The guy, he just seems like a basic striker to me, to be honest. But for Aston Villa, he does the business. And he got on the score sheet again. Great penalty as well. Buendia scored a great goal. Absolutely skinned Everton's defenders and slapped it in. And don't you find that funny? Don't you find it funny? Everton, after their first match, Sean Dyche, new manager bounce. They play like Barcelona against Arsenal, of course, and they beat us. But then after that, they've lost. I think they've not won since the game against Arsenal. And we've actually got them on this Wednesday, so we better beat them. But yeah, Everton lost. To show everyone, I still think they'll stay up, but Everton are still very much in this relegation battle. Whoever thought Sean Dyche is just going to come in and Everton are just going to ascend all the way to the top, they've been brought back down to reality. And Aston Villa were good value for the win at home. Away from home. And then, of course, I have to talk about the Gooners. I have to talk about the Gunners. I'm going to talk about them later in depth, but these are the type of wins we need. Yes, I'll take a 4-2 against Aston Villa. The drama of the Jorginho goal, Martinez own goal, 3-2, and then Martinelli running into an empty net. 4-2, of course, that's thrilling. But these are the wins, the 1-0 wins against Leicester where we limited them to, I think, the lowest expected goals tally since the records were being collected. I mean, talk about dominance away from home. And a clean sheet was so welcome. I was very, very happy for the boys, Saliba, Gabriel, because they've been taking a lot of stick recently. It just goes to show this is what happens when a good team goes away from home. Because you look at Leicester. Yes, they lost 3-0 to Man United. But on another day, that first half, they could have gone in 2 goals up. It was David De Gea that kept United in the game. You saw what they did against Tottenham, how they absolutely shredded and smoked them. But Arsenal go there, completely dominate them, but no one saying anything. Okay, keep quiet, happy, take the 3 points. And then West Ham winning 4-0. My question is, where's this West Ham been all season? Bruh, David Moyes finally decides to take the handbrake off, decides to stop treating West Ham like an OAP team, and they actually decides to start acting like the team that bought Skamaka in the summer, a team that bought Lucas Paqueta in the summer, good attacking players, a team that bought Danny Ings in January. It was, on a positive note, West Ham fans, I actually was happy to see West Ham play this way. I think Moyes needs to throw off, he's Scottish, right? He needs to down some whiskey or something. He needs to get more loose. He needs to get more loose with his team. He's too stiff. He's too rigid. He needs maybe he needs some Dutch courage to start actually attacking more. So it was really good to see West Ham do this. And Nottingham Forest, they've done well. I mean, in the table, they're 13th. They're above West Ham. Like, that is mad. That Nottingham Forest have basically struggled to win all season on the road, struggling for goals, but yet they're above West Ham. This just goes to show how much West Ham are underachieving. So this is a much needed win for West Ham. It's good to see. I hope that they can continue this way. And question for you guys, West Ham fans. Declan Rice, obviously he's been linked a lot with Arsenal, and I would take him at Arsenal, but I'm thinking, what's his best position? Is he a 6? Is he an 8 that's box to box? He's got good passing range and he likes to pop a shot away. But someone like him, I feel like the next type of midfielder I want Arsenal to buy is a 6 type of midfielder, not a box to box. But anyway, I'll save that discussion for later. It was good to see West Ham win. And then, of course, you had Leeds. Great win for Leeds. Bringing in Javi Gracia. I sort of turned my nose up at that appointment, but if you're going to get a guy that's going to come in, no frills, no titillation, a guy that's just going to come in and do the job, okay, that's fair enough. And he did that. I mean, albeit he did it against the Southampton side that have been, honestly, really woeful this season. I mean, if you take away James Prowse's free kicks and penalties, they're not scoring much goals, which is an indictment on Southampton, given the fact that Che Adams, I think, is a decent player. Gineppo, I think, is a decent player. They've actually got decent, Theo Walcott, I mean, his level has decreased, but come on, for Southampton, surely he can do the business. Then, of course, we have title chasers, Man City. They beat Bournemouth 4-1. I mean, it was to be expected. People are saying, oh, Pep, masterclass, la 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 la. Well, it's like, okay, I'm not even trying to be a hater here because they are title rivals, but I mean, it doesn't take much to beat Bournemouth at home. They've done well this season, but it was good to see Foden score on his 200th appearance for Man City. I mean, which is really phenomenal. Like, in a team full of superstars, it speaks to how good of a player Phil Foden is. Obviously, I think Saka's better than him, but I don't like this whole, just because a player is good, you have to compare him with another. I don't like that. Why can't they both just be good players? I actually rate Foden highly as a very, very good player. Really good on the ball, got a good left foot, got an eye for goal. And I'm just very happy to see a homegrown lad like him coming through the ranks and holding his own against the likes of Julian Alvarez's, Riyad Mahrez's, 200 appearances for City. That's a big deal for someone his age. That's a big, big deal. So great win for City, keeping the pressure on Arsenal. Liverpool, Palace. Look, Liverpool been getting a lot of stick, rightly so. They've been pants. But if you look at the facts, that's 7 points out of 9. And the chance, and the thing is, if they beat United on Sunday, that's gonna be what? 10 points out of 12, including a home win against United. And it's not looking as bad as Liverpool fans think. You take points off United, that's if they beat United. I have a feeling United will probably win because Liverpool have been absolutely pants this season. Sorry, Liverpool fans, I don't know what's happened with Fabinho. It's like he's, you know them things? How can I describe it with Fabinho? You know those ankle weights? I feel like Fabinho's playing with ankle weights. I just don't get it. something must have happened. It must have been like a mad injury. Something must have happened. That the drop-off in quality is alarming to me. Like, something must have happened in this guy's life that is affecting the way he's playing on the pitch. But anywho, Crystal Palace, it's the same old story. Ayew, terrible. Mateta, honestly terrible. He comes up, he appears in flashes. I still can't believe we let this team hammer us 3-0 last season. Edson Edward, poor finisher. Like, it's just the same story with Crystal Palace. They just need a proper finisher. They need someone to finish up their chances, because on another day, they're winning that game with the chances they had. And Tottenham Hotspurs beating Chelsea 2-0. Now, unpopular opinion. A few months back on DR Sports, when Potter was hired, and then, at the start of the January transfer window, you heard it here first. When Chelsea were making all of these big signings, I'm like, okay, that's one big personality, another big personality, they're young players, but they're also young players who are going to do something right now, right? And I'm thinking, as much as I rate Potter, I'm thinking, does he have enough cojones? Does he have enough bravado and enough charisma to be able to manage these players and get them playing well? I'll think to myself, I know Bowley gave him a 6-year contract, but knowing how crazy this cowboy's been, I would not be surprised if Potter was sacked before the end of the season, right? Because, yeah, I think it's a difficult situation. And honestly, as much as I like him, I'm not surprised that Chelsea have 2 wins. What is it, 2 wins in 16 or 15? That's relegation form. Like, I'm not surprised at it at all. Unfortunately, sorry, Chelsea fans. I just have to go in on your club. This is what happens when you've got a cowboy owner that doesn't have a strategy. Well, a bit of a strategy. Buy the best young players in Europe, but you have no idea how to fit them into your team. This is what happens when you don't do your own scouting and you basically just piggyback other teams doing their scouting. I'm not trying to throw shade at Mudryk. I still think the guy's going to come good, but what do you expect? You did not have a plan for how you're going to put him into your team. You did not have a plan for as to what he's going to do. You just saw that Arsenal Football Club, who wanted him, had a plan for him, had been tracking him. You saw that we were interested and you went and bought him. And how's that working out for you? How's all these signings working out for you? Even you're even making João Felix look bad, for goodness sake. Now, this is not to take away from Spurs. It's a good win at home, but Spurs honestly played the same way Spurs played. The first half did absolutely nothing. Second half, they turned it on. It's the Spurs we've been seeing all season. And it was just really, really shocking from Chelsea. So they're in a relegation battle. So going through all of the weekend's results, I think it's safe to say that there's not really much that's changed. There's still a big scrap at the bottom to win to see who's gonna get relegated. Arsenal and City both won. So it remains to be seen whether Arsenal are going to beat Everton. I hope they do, and then stretch that gap to 5 points to take us into pole position for the next 3 months. The race for fourth is unpredictable. I still think Liverpool are in it. Tottenham, as bad as they've been, they're in it. Man United are probably going to do well to get away from that and probably inch their way into the title challenge. So all in all, the Premier League is still as exciting as ever. But now that results aside, guys, I wanted to talk about something else, because we're not just here to talk football. As many of you know, if you've seen my Instagram, I'm also a Christian. So, and one of the things I love about football is I see parallels between God and football all the time. And I actually like using football analogies to help me in my relationship with God. And I wanted to speak on a specific topic that I think needs to be discussed. A lot of people are talking about Arsenal's success, right? And about how it's meteoric. Arteta, meteoric. It is, it is meteoric. If you look at this season, like what we've done, we're way ahead of where we expected to be. I was thinking Arsenal are going to be second or third. I thought that the team was settled. If you asked me this before the start of the season, I looked at Chelsea, unsettled. I looked at United, I'm thinking new manager, they'll probably do decent. I looked at Liverpool, unsettled, and didn't buy well. I looked at Tottenham, unsettled, did not buy well. So I looked at City, they still looked a bit off to me. I thought City would finish top this season. The season's not done yet, but I did not expect for us to be heading into March and for Arsenal to be top. I thought we'd be second or third. It just goes to show what a phenomenal job Arteta has done and these players have done. But my question is, why? A lot of people are looking into mechanics. Why are Arsenal doing so well this season? What is the secret? There's a bunch of things. But for me, if you were to ask me and I draw a spiritual parallel between what's made Arsenal do so well, it has to be the fact that these guys have learned to fail. I don't know about you, Arsenal fans. Last season was gutting for me. I remember I was on the way to Nigeria. I was there. My wife had a layover in Paris. Arsenal were playing Newcastle. And I'm thinking after that Spurs win, I'm like, okay, Arsenal, please. I need to find somewhere where I can watch this match. And I couldn't find anywhere I could watch it. I was staying at a hotel, waiting because our flight was cancelled. It's a long story, right? So I'm doing my best to follow the match on my phone. And I'm seeing 0-0 going in at halftime. Okay, cool. We're not losing. And then by the end of by full time, what is it? 2-0. I'm like, what is going on? And on that day, Newcastle could have battered us like 5-0. I was so angry. Why? Because we threw it away again. It gave me shades of Emery. You gave me that false hope only to throw it away again. And you could see it on the players, man. They look so dejected. But you know what's so powerful? Anyone who watched the All or Nothing documentary of Arsenal, watch what happens when Arsenal go a goal down this season. You watch it. I clocked it for the first time in the Fulham game. When Arsenal concede first, Odegaard, the captain, he just goes to the players. Okay, guys, he acts as if they're not losing. And this is something I've not just seen in Odegaard. All the players have this mindset. It's like, where did they get this from? I believe this is stemming from last season. These guys have legit learned how to fail well. And I think in Arsenal's performances this season, we learn a massive, massive spiritual principle that I think really holds weight, specifically in view of men. I really believe the catalyst to success is failure. If you let failure make you better. Because the Arsenal players would have been dejected. Arsenal fans were dejected last season. But for these players to go through all of that, then still come, stay to the process and play the way they've played this season, it's no surprise to me that they're so resilient. There is a huge, huge, huge benefit in learning how to fail well. A great man once said, failure is the catalyst to success. Fail often, fail early, and fail forward. Arsenal have learned how to fail forward. That's it. That's the only difference between them and these other seasons. They've allowed that failure to make them greater. You look at Saka, perfect example. Got all of that ridicule, all of that stick after the Euros. Man is still taking penalties for Arsenal and he's slapping them away. Like, come on. He didn't let that break him. And the thing is, you may say, oh, yeah, but look at Sancho. Look at Sancho. Sancho has not been the same player since Sancho. I'm not trying to be down on him, but it just goes to show the mental strength, not just Saka, that these Arsenal players have. And I really believe this mental strength can only be forged through accepting the lessons that failure has to teach you. And there's a great scripture in the Bible that talks about this. In James chapter 1, it says, consider it pure joy when you face trials of many kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith will produce perseverance. The scripture says perseverance must finish its work. Failure, Romans 5 verses 3 also says suffering produces what? Character. Character produces what? Hope. No, suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance produces character. Character, hope. All throughout the Bible, you see God's plan for us is not to live a comfortable, easy, marshmallow life where everything goes our way. It's a linear process. And I think this is something Arsenal fans have had to accept. It has not been a linear process since moving to the Emirates. There have been many, many lows. There have been a few highs, but a lot of lows. But it's all part of the process. And I really want to appeal specifically to the men. I really believe this is a massive, massive issue amongst men in the UK nowadays. Men don't know how to fail. They don't know how to respond to failure. They don't know how to accept failure. They don't know how to live with failure. But if only we would see God's perspective that failure is not something that's meant to crush you. It's something that's meant to define you. It's something that's meant to sharpen you. It's something that's meant to train you. All you have to do is change your mind once you go through it. And I can speak personally from a point of view. I failed in so many ways. I remember when I got married, my first year, I failed. I failed in loving my wife. I failed in learning how to be humble. I failed in so many areas. When I started my new job in 2020, I failed massively. But I have two choices. I can either be depressed, which is prideful, or I can be humble and assess, okay, what did these failures in life teach me? And I really believe this is what Arsenal have done to contribute to the success they've had this season. So that being said, guys, I really want to make an appeal to you. We have to be men. The world is trying to eradicate what it is to be a man today. People don't want to live with failure. People don't want to take risks. People don't want to do something great, all because they're trying to eliminate the possibility of failure. Well, you don't have to wait for that. The truth is, you're going to fail. At some point, you're going to fail. There's no such thing as sugarcoating your way through life. If only you will have God's mindset and actually embrace failure as a vital and healthy part of your life. So in closing, I really want to encourage you guys, make a decision to learn how to fail. And the only way you can do that is by having faith. Of course, yes, I want to talk about football, but football is not the most essential thing. You need something else to turn to so that you can enjoy football like what it's meant to be. A hobby, a sport, not your lifeblood. So I really wanted to encourage you guys, learn how to fail. The best way you can do that is understanding God's view on failure. See who you are. You're a man. You were built to win, but you were built to win through learning how to fail successfully. And that's pretty much all I wanted to share. That's why we're seeing Arsenal win. That can be the only reason. These guys are learning how to fail game by game. You even see, sorry, I know I said in closing, but you even see what happened recently with the dip in form. To go to Aston Villa and win 4-2. Many people were writing us up. I even saw Arsenal fans, our title race is over. Fourth. Guys, get a grip. Did you think Arsenal was just going to come, canter to the title, Man City not going to do anything, everything roll over for us? No. If anything, that's going to be better at the end of the season to know, okay, Arsenal had this problem, this challenge, and they still won. That means they're going to get their stripes. No one can take it away that they've been the best team this season. So guys, thank you for listening. Today we spoke about failure and learning how to fail faithfully and fail forward. This has been the first episode of FleetFooted. If you want to hear more about what we're saying, please make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to even send any comments my way on something that you'd like to see discussed from a football and faith point of view. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening.